The vintage chassid, Rabbi Moshe Hecht, was once sitting together at a Hasidic gathering with several colleagues. To hide what was then an illegal gathering, they were meeting in a cellar. Their candles had burnt out, and the only light was a faint glimmer from the lanterns in the street. The Chassidim didn't mind. Their light and warmth was internal. The fellowship they were sharing, the concepts they were discussing, and the songs they were singing were powerful beacons. A chassid passing by on the street heard the sounds of their singing and asked to join. When he was given permission, he opened the door and began to make his way to the cellar. But after he took his first few steps, he stopped. The darkness was so powerful he could not see where he was going. "Why aren't you coming?" the Chassidim called to him. "It's too dark," the chassid replied. "Just wait," one of the voices called out. "Soon your eyes will get used to the darkness and you'll be able to see." Rabbi Peretz took this as an analogy. "That's precisely the problem with us," he told his colleagues. "We get used to the darkness, and then it isn't so difficult to bear." We all face spiritual inertia, for it is natural to become comfortable with one's settings, even when they are dark. But that is only part of the picture. The truth is, every one of us possesses an urge to progress and face new horizons. The name of this week's parsha is Vayelech, and he went. It's also called Shabbos Shuvo, or Shabbos Teshuvah, as it's the Shabbos before Yom Kippur, and the Haftarah begins with the words Shuva Yisrael, return, O Israel, to the Lord your God. The opening verse of the Torah portion relates, Vayelech Moshe vayedaber es advarim ha'ele el kol Yisrael, ben mea v'esrim shana anochi hayom. And Moses went to all the Jewish people to speak the following words. Now this seems to be a bit strange, for this is not the first time Moses speaks to the Jewish people. Usually he gathers them all in. He calls them together for a massive group huddle before he gives them the instruction. Yet here, on his 120th birthday and final day of life, he makes it a point to go to them. He goes from tribe to tribe, from group to group, to give them over the final instruction before his passing. At this point in time, he had attained the highest peaks of divine understanding. He knew that this was to be the last day of his life. Nevertheless, he was not prepared to rest on his laurels. Instead, he understood the imperative for continued progress. And even on this day, he strove to reach new horizons. As they say in English, he was on the move. He was proactively trying to make a difference in this world, to teach and to learn new ideas, to guide others and to refine himself. Vayelech, the name of this week's Torah reading means, and he went, pointing to the need to go from strength to strength in our divine service. Shabbos Teshuvah, the Shabbos of repentance, is thematically connected. For in a full sense, Vayelech implies not merely gradual progress, but radical change. Just as going means changing one's place, its spiritual parallel involves rising to a previously inconceivable level of divine service. The first step in this process is from the verse in Deuteronomy chapter 18, Tomim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Be sincere with the eternal your God. If we aren't honest and authentic with ourselves, we can never progress. Sincerity is critical. A similar idea is found in the book of Proverbs, where in chapter 9, verse 5, King Solomon compares Torah to bread and wine. L'chu lachmu b'lachmi u'shesu b'yayin masochti. Go and partake of my bread and drink of the wine I have mingled. He doesn't use the word boyu, which means to come, rather l'chu, to go. For if you want to study Torah properly, if you want the teachings of Torah to resonate, if you want to taste the delightful bread and wine, you have to be ready to travel for it. This can mean to seek out the best teacher for you, but it can also mean to travel within yourself, to reach a place of inner honesty, where I'm ready to hear words of truth and behave accordingly. A space where fear isn't driving me to combat the teachings of Torah. Rather, truth and love are driving me to seek authenticity. This Shabbos gives us the strength. This Shabbos empowers each and every one of us to grow, to always be proactive, to overcome our inhibitions and live as we are meant to be, in sync with the will of our Creator. I wish you a good Shabbos and a Gemar Chasima Tova.